Actually, what is the role of media in society? Let me tell you what they have never told you. This is what we call media. Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. Lalel, the general population does not know what is happening. It doesn't even know that it does not know. What if I told you television and radio is a monster in your home and it's called a propaganda for a reason? Your television or radio is nothing more than an electronic mind alteration device. It has been designed to psychologically change the way you view reality. What you see, read and listen to always control your perception, and your perception becomes your belief, and your belief becomes a lifestyle. None of us question what we are made to believe through media, because it is repeated over and over again until it becomes a reality in our minds. This is what we call media. Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. Media lies to us all the time, and we always believe the media. TV is a weapon of mass deception. Mainstream media lies. They are funded by those corrupt bankers who run these countries. What the human race is suffering from is mass hypnosis. We are being hypnotized by the people like these news readers, politicians, teachers, lecturers. We are in a country and in a world that is being run by unbelievably sick people. The chasm between what we are told is going on and what is really going on is absolutely enormous. Humanity is mind controlled and only slightly more conscious than your average zombie. They show you what they want you to believe. This is what we call media. Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. That's the whole point of good propaganda. They want to create a slogan that nobody is going to be against and everybody is going to be for. Nobody knows what it means because it doesn't mean anything. The media tells you who to love, who to hate, who to be afraid of, who to trust, and what to think. Do the research, inform yourself, free your mind from the mental slavery. Most people don't want the truth. They just want constant reassurance that what they believe is the truth. Believe what you are told. This is what we call media. Make the lie big, make it simple. Keep saying it and eventually they will believe it. Television, radio, social media. The 24/7 news cycle plows forward mercilessly on our desks, in our cars, and in our pockets. Thousands and thousands of messages and voices bombard us from the moment we wake, fighting for our attention. All we see and hear all day long is news, and most of it is bad. If you look at the way society is structured, it is structured to keep people overwhelmingly in the state of fear and always trying to survive in terms of physical, in terms of terror, in terms of financially, the credit crunch, rising food prices. All this is survive. I believe that human race has developed a form of collective schizophrenia in which we are not only the slaves to this imposed thought behavior, but we are also the police force of it. That's why the few have always controlled the masses. This is media, an irresponsible media. It will make the criminal look like he's the victim and make the victim look like he's the criminal. If you aren't careful, the media will have you hating the oppressor and loving the people who are doing the oppressing. This is a sort of a propaganda tactic that I would call psychological warfare. This is what we call media. Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. The most dangerous weapon is not a gun. The most dangerous weapon is a government controlled by media. And the media is the most powerful entity on earth. They have the power to make the innocent guilt and make the guilt innocent. And that's the power because they control the minds of the masses. There's so many lies being told throughout the media, and the people just run with the lies. They are numb to it. Too many followers, not enough leaders. They are evil people. The press, the media, they are bad people, and nobody lies like they do. All we hear of is fake news daily, misleading headlines. What I call, someone paid me to tell you this. This is what we call media. Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. We are fast approaching the stage of the ultimate invasion, the stage where the government is free to do anything it pleases, while the citizen may act only by permission, which is the stage of the darkest period of human history, the stage of rule by brute force. We can all be conned, but at what point do we realize that we are being conned? And to what point do we allow ourselves to be coined? The lies the government and media tells are the amplification of the lies we tell ourselves. To stop being conned, stop conning yourself. Hundreds of billions of dollars are spent every year to control the public minds. Listen, they do not have to break down our doors to install mind control devices in our homes. We buy them our own. This is what we call media. Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. If you don't read the newspapers, you are uninformed. If you read the newspapers, you are misinformed. Then which is which? Read the newspapers to scrutinize the truth out of the lie you are being told. If those in charge of our society, politicians, corporate executives and owners of press and television can dominate our ideas, they will be secure in their power. They will not need soldiers patrolling the streets. We will control ourselves. I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots. Robert Wilson once said, everybody who has ever worked for a corporation knows that corporations conspire all the time. Politicians conspire all the time. Hot dealers conspire not to get caught by the NAS. The world is full of conspiracies. Conspiracy is natural primate behavior. Unfortunately, my life and your life is that conspiracy. Our leaders have their own interest and the interest of those close to them in mind. We need leaders not in love with money, but in love with justice. We need leaders not in love with publicity, but in love with humanity. We need leaders not in love with oppressing the innocent and the poor people just to please those that control world leaders. Do not sell your conscience and people for the sake of the so-called world economic growth. Whoever controls the media controls the mind. This is what we call media. Make the lie big, make it simple, keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it. How is it we have so much information but know so little? The eyes are useless when the mind is blind. They say weak minds think alike. The world will not be destroyed by those who do evil, but by those who watch them without doing anything. He who controls the past controls the future. He who controls the present controls the past. You are not supposed to be so blind with patriotism that you can't face reality. Wrong is wrong no matter who does it or say it. Patriotism means to stand by the country. It does not mean to stand by the president or any other public officials. True freedom is attained by those who realize that so long as you control what I think, how I think, and when to think, then you have just upgraded me from being a slave to being something worse, a puppet. The vast majority of people in any organization, even quite high up, have got no idea who the real masters are. You should wake up and look behind everything that a mischief-making liar brings before the public through a controlled media. Without a free and independent media, true democracy is unattainable. The only revolution that will change anything is a revolution of perception. Secret of freedom lies in educating people, whereas the secret of tyranny is in keeping them ignorant. When we give our minds and our responsibilities away, we give the world away. If enough of us do it, we give the world away, and that is precisely what we have been doing throughout known human history. This is what we call media. Make the lie big, make it simple. Keep saying it, and eventually they will believe it.